Sports 9 on your side at 9 starts now.
No matter if you're traveling or staying home over this Labor Day holiday, Bronco fans will be glued to the tube Saturday. The season opener against a familiar foe. Live coverage from Seattle is tonight's big story with sports director Paul Gerke, Roland and Mike Sharp.
Hello, Michelle. The next time the sun comes up, football season will have officially begun. Boise State and Washington playing at Husky Stadium tomorrow. I'm Paul Gerke alongside Mike Sharp and Hurricane Roland. He's batting down the hatches as the winds pick up off the shore. We've got a lot to talk about concerning tomorrow's game. Some storylines involving Bronco fans, involving coffee, which is apparently blowing all over your rain jacket and all over Mike Sharp's shirt. But first, we need to talk about some football. There are a lot of big matchups to talk about tomorrow. Keith Price, dynamic quarterback for Washington. You may remember him from the Mako Bowl last year, as well as running back Bishop Sankey, who ran for over 200 yards for the Huskies against Boise State. But tonight, I'd like to talk about some defensive players. Linebacker John Timu, number 10. That's a guy to watch. He finished with 91 tackles last season, 15 and a sack against Boise State. But he may not even be the most dynamic player on that defense. According to the Broncos, Shaq Thompson deserves that honor.
I think he's their best player on their team, probably. That's pretty, he's only a sophomore, true sophomore. He only played 1 year of football at the college level, but that dude, he stands out on film.
He could probably play offense or defense. They've moved him to kind of that nickel position. He was a safety that returned kickoffs last year. He can do it all.
A little later in sports, I'll have a much closer look at some of the matchups between the Broncos and Huskies as we prepare you for tomorrow's game.
Paul, as you mentioned, I am wearing the traditional coffee shirt that is worn here in Seattle.
We are in Seattle.
But the city is so much more than coffee, and a lot of Boise State fans are here. So I caught up with some of them, as well as some Seattle fans who are getting ready for tomorrow's game. Boise State fans are filling the streets of Seattle, and they're here for more than just the cup after cup after cup of coffee. Don't get me wrong, the coffee is great, but the city of Seattle is so much more than coffee. The Broncos are here for football, and some of them had to jump through some interesting hoops to get here.
I did become one of the biggest donors, I think, this year to the Washington Alumni or Athletic Association. We had to buy a lot of season tickets. Kevin Loveless is a diehard Boise State fan, but now he's a season ticket holder for Washington. You see, he owns a Boise travel company, and to get the amount of fans that Seattle has wanted to be here, he had to buy 70 sets of season tickets to games in Seattle. That's 420 extra Husky games he's not going to. Blue and orange is popping up in all the favorite tourist spots around Seattle, but if the Boise State fans are expecting to drown out UW, it may not be that easy.
You know, I think the Huskies want to come out and whoop some A, so to speak.
Husky fan Matthew Dillon will be there, and he says it's going to be loud. Fans told me they'd be loud enough to drown out any Boise State chants.
I didn't even know you guys had one. I'm sure I won't hear it.
But that'll all be worked out tomorrow. Today, the Broncos fans are fine with catching all the sights of Seattle and hoping the Huskies drop tomorrow's game.
Go Broncos!
You know, one of the most surprising things that I saw talking to all those people, they were making jokes, but they were very cordial. Tomorrow, on the other hand, when they go to that stadium, it'll be interesting to see the way they interact.
It could be entirely different, and there's nothing cordial about dropping fresh fish, by the way. I think that was completely uncalled for.
That's right. Some lady was very upset about that.
It's almost like spilling coffee.
It's almost like spilling coffee. You know, tomorrow morning, a lot of folks are going to be fueled on caffeine, which fuels the city of Seattle before they head off to the game. And, of course, today was, you know, a pretty nice day until now, where it's turned into hurricane force winds, it seems, out here. But, you know, usually Seattle is consuming these by the millions because it gets very cold, it gets dreary, it gets short of sunlight during the wintertime, and that's when they really want to go for that hot cup of joe.
9 months out of the year, it's dark, and also, like, as much of a coffee, like, culture that we have here, it's also, like, there's a giant nightlife here, so Seattle's a little sleepy and hungover in the morning, so the coffee is necessary, and when it gets dark at 3 in the afternoon, like, you need a little pick-me-up.
We all need a little pick-me-up, don't we?
Hey, if any Boise State fan needs some coffee, I will drain my shirt. Thanks to Roland.
My fault. It's the wind. I'm telling you what, even from a covered cup, it hit Mike Sharp's shirt. Anyhow, interesting, though, This city has 10 times more coffee shops than any other city per capita in the country.
That's good research, Roland. You're quite the statistician.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. We're going to be out here for the rest of the night. Be sure to join us a little later in the show for sports. For now, in Seattle, Paul Gerke alongside Roland Barris and Mike Sharp, Fox 9 on your side.
Roland, is that your winter ski jacket?
Yes, I'm the only one who came prepared. I'm standing right next to these guys and they're shivering.
We're trying to keep him warm.
Yeah.
Scott's telling me here in the studio that it's still 70-something degrees there, so I'm kind of not buying it.
When you're used to 95 in Boise, I guess it's a little different.
I guess it's freezing.
Here.
Okay, we're going to check in with Scott in just a little bit, guys. We'll see you in a little while, too.